a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three.
Oh, 3 in a row. Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got a lot to cover today. It is a rivalry game day. Oregon baseball on the road in Corvallis after a sweep of the Beavers this weekend. We'll tell you all about that coming up. Jody Sykes is here, Chief Compliance Officer, Senior Associate Athletic Director. Do you get Senior Associate AD or Chief Compliance Officer more often?
I get "Hey you" a lot. No. Most of the time it's Senior Associate or Jody or whatever, but yeah.
I just think Chief Compliance Officer just has this, like, authority.
It does, but sometimes that presents the negative light of what we do,
I guess.
right?
Yeah,
and
all right,
so I
all
don't
right.
oftentimes introduce myself as that without my other title because I want
Right.
people to know that there's more to me than just being the compliance guru, right?
Yeah, I
And there's the
understand.
perception that compliance is the watchdogs, and we are. We have to do our job, and we have that monitoring piece, and we have that enforcement piece, right? But there's so much more to what we do in terms of resources and just helping our students. So, yeah, I answer to whatever. You just tell me what you need.
Well, now I'm glad then that I wrote in the show description today, I put the dash, Senior Associate Athletic Director, dash, Chief Compliance Officer.
And technically on my title, on my signature on my email, it has both.
Right, that's what I mean.
It
So,
has
like,
both. I own it.
it's the full title.
Oh, absolutely.
Full title. I
Absolutely.
mean, you've heard me joke about this before, that until you get to the point in your career where it's like you're just an abbreviation of 2 or 3 letters, then the more slashes that are on your business card, the more responsibilities you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And we were talking even before pressing play here and getting going for the show today that, things are certainly changing around college athletics, but the one thing that has stayed the same is you still follow the rules, you still cover all your bases, and you check the boxes, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, part of running a reputable program, part of being an integrity-filled coaching staff and integrity-filled human being is that we do the best we can to follow the rules. Now, sometimes that gets a little difficult when the rules are constantly changing and we can't hardly keep up, or when we're speculating about what the rules are going to be because we're waiting on, lawsuits or house settlements or whatever, whichever category you want to throw in there.
Right.
So I do appreciate that our coaches do the best they can to ask us questions, and certainly helps keep me in a job because I'm trying to answer their questions, and trying to make sure that folks are educated in this ever-evolving world. I mentioned it feels like COVID, where we're just drinking from the fire hose right now because we're speculating about what is going on and we just don't have any really great information, and then we feel like we're going down one path and then it ends up taking a hard right. And so we're all, everybody, coaches, staff, just student athletes, everybody is just trying to keep their head above water at this point. But yeah, we still have rules, and technically we're going to abide by those rules until we get a new something to follow, and then we'll follow those rules.
Yeah, it's certainly a dynamic situation, and I've said this now a few different times on Athletic Director Tuesday, different perspectives from you and your colleagues and everybody, but at the end of the day, you just prepare the best you can, I guess, right?
That's it.
That's where we're at right now.
That's it. What is it? Advance and overcome, and whatever that statement is, where you adapt and overcome. That's what I was trying to get to. Adapt and overcome, right? Because you just don't know what it is. And advance.
I like that title.
I'm okay with that,
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
Well, adapt, overcome, advance. Here we go. Right? So, yeah, I mean, it's just what all of us are doing right now. Coaches are having to deal with it with a new world of recruiting. There's agents that are now involved that, we had worked so hard for in the previous many, many years of how long I've been doing this to keep agents out of the mix.
Right.
And now they're just an integral part of everything that's going on in the last, 3.5, 4 years now. It's just completely changed. And so you have to adapt, and you either get out or you adapt and keep riding the roller coaster until it comes to a stop and go for it.
Right. Well, that's part of your job. right? So again, I said there's lots of slashes on the business card. That's
one
part
of many
of the job for Jody Sykes. And certainly there's a lot to unpack there, and there's no doubt. But now to come back to the student athlete, which is ultimately what all this is about.
Absolutely,
right? Like,
every day.
Here
every day.
without that. So Kiara Romero was actually in the studio this morning.
Nice.
We're going to air that interview coming up later this week. Big Ten individual champion Kiara Romero.
Player of the year.
I told a story that now I need to tell you on the air. Okay, so I was calling the baseball game at the time when the women's golf team was on the 18th green and maybe back up on the 18th tee box. And Kiara Romero's on approach, and she had said she hadn't looked at the leaderboard. That was part of the calculation. But then she sees in the corner of her eye the team. And Jody is the sport liaison, sport administrator. Is it both things?
It's either or.
Okay.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, the sport, your sport, one of them is
Yeah.
women's golf, right?
Right.
Okay, so, there's some bottles of water. And it's not like everybody has one bottle of water in their hands. It's like multiple. It's like a bouquet of water bottles. And so then Kiara sees this and goes, oh, okay, yep. All right, I think I know what's coming. Now, I don't know if you've been told this yet, but there was this great moment on the TV broadcast from our friends at Big Ten Network where the camera saw you all, and you just turned.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you turned
and
Kiara can't see this,
Yeah,
right? So I have to ask you to tell fans the story and the whole moment. That had to be so special.
Absolutely. So anytime a women's golfer, at least for our team, this is not necessarily tradition across whatever, but for our team, anytime a women's golfer wins their first individual title, and sometimes we do it first for the year, sometimes we do it multiple times. It depends, right? But
celebration.
Yeah, and as I think many of you know, if you follow our women's golf team, Kiara had finished second numerous times throughout this spring. And so she had a 3-stroke lead going into the 18th hole over her nearest competitor. It was pretty much in the bag as long as she didn't put it in the water or something. So yes, we had gathered water and we were going to douse her because that is our tradition, is when you win, you get doused. Now normally, in normal circumstances, we let you go, sign your scorecard, do everything official, take the official pictures, and then we douse you so that you're not wet in the pictures. However, because it was live on Big Ten Network, I had warned the Big Ten Network folks, the cameraman that was in our face right there, which is great. It was great coverage.
Yeah.
But I had warned him. I was like, hey, when she's done, after she has hugged her fellow competitors, we are going to go get her and douse her in water. And then I looked over, and of course, Kiara's looking straight up at us, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
And then I kind of did this.
Yeah.
It didn't work at that point. She knew what was up.
Yeah,
and to be honest, even though she hadn't been following the leaderboard, there was a huge electronic leaderboard just to the left of the 18th green.
She would have seen it.
And she would have seen it. And she would have known. The good thing was at that point she had a 3-stroke lead. It wasn't just down to those last 2 shots, which she hit perfectly, by the way, and parred the hole, and it was great. And so there was never any doubt in that. But yeah, she had to know it was coming. And I think, to be honest, and I'm putting words into Kiara's mouth at this point, but it was like, finally, I finally get to be doused.
She said that actually.
Did she?
This morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
She finally gets to be doused in water because she's no longer finishing second.
Yeah.
And we were so excited for her. I mean, so excited for the team too, but so excited for her to just get that win off of her shoulder.
Yeah.
And just let that free her up to do whatever she wants.
And to do it at the conference championship.
Heck yeah.
Right? So the team wins the title.
In dominating fashion.
Tied the scoring record for a Big Ten championship, and actually put together one of the best final rounds the conference has ever seen in the first year in the conference, I might add. So, all of that happens, right? And then you still just have the person who has, come up just short a few times, and this is the competitor that she is. So I encourage everyone to come back later in the week when we play this interview with Kiara Romero, because the way that she described it, Jody, was like, yeah, but I had to break through. Like, I had to. This is the number 3 amateur golfer in the world who's playing at Oregon. Pretty special.
It is very special. And one of the special parts for me is her teammates wanting her to get it. Just them imbibing her with their vibes, with their spirit, with their efforts to get that for her. I mean, Tong An shot 66, 6 under in the 3rd round of that competition. One of the best rounds I've seen by a freshman all year. And it was second to this because everybody wanted this. Even for Tong An, it was second because everybody wanted this so much for Kiara. It was amazing. It was really, really fun to be a part of.
That's really cool. So let's back up a step. You talk about these championships, these conference championships. you're around the team and you've observed the whole year. Golf was one, and talking with Coach Radley, where the Big Ten conference transition didn't impact him as much, right? The travel, just everything, because you're already kind of doing that. So as the sport administrator, like, how's it been traveling with them again this year? What's it been like being around them this year?
No, it's been fun. I actually don't normally travel as much as I have because our assistant coach, Chrissy Carmen, had a beautiful little baby girl. And so I have been traveling more with the team this year to help with the things that Chrissy would normally do.
Right.
And so it's been different to travel with them in February and March when I normally wouldn't start until maybe April, beginning of April usually. And so it's been fun. It's been fun to be around them in kind of a different capacity and not just to add on to the tournament. It's been fun to actually be involved in some of the, dinner decision making or, things like that. And certainly I have a role when I travel with them no matter what, but just to kind of be more integrated it's been really fun.
Yeah.
I will miss that next year. I'm grateful to have Chrissy back. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy my sleep and that is definitely affected. But I'm excited to finish off the season with them and to see it through regionals. We're leaving this Friday.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because I wanted to kind of give a shout out as like an honorary assistant coach at times, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do any of the on-coaching.
But there's stuff that happens all over the place.
And we should shout out Kalia Romero, though.
Yes.
So Kiara's older sister, Kalia, has joined us this year. She came in kind of as a graduate manager, but we pulled her into this graduate assistant coaching role when Chrissy had to stay home to protect the baby.
Cool.
And Kalia has embraced this and has excelled in this role. The players love her. She has grasped onto what Coach Derek has wanted her to do with the team on the course. So it is a tag team effort. It shows you that it takes two of us to do what Chrissy does because Kalia's doing the on-course stuff, and then I'm doing more of the logistics, right? Driving the van, getting the hotel rooms, ordering the dinners, the kind of those logistical behind the scenes, and of course cheering when I can.
Right.
But yeah, it's been fun. It's been different.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, the camera shot was I couldn't help but smile.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to go find it.
Yeah, it was just like I could tell that you were like, oh, like words out.
Words out.
I
just gave it away.
Well,
Darn it.
just knowing you like I do, I just thought in that moment, smile on your face, and then oh, there she is.
Yeah, like hide. Don't want her to know.
It was great. It was very subtle. It was very subtle
good.
during the.
It probably didn't work. She knew, and as well she should, right?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, just and what an awesome deal. And now a 1 seed gonna be in the regional next week. That's part of why I asked you to come on.
Absolutely.
This week, postseason. Here we go.
Hardest tournament of the year right here. And I'm sure if you've ever had Coach Dion at this time of the year, he'll say the same thing. Like this is the one tournament where it actually matters where you finish. Because if you don't finish in the top 5, you don't advance. You don't go on to the national championship. So this is the tournament that is really the hardest. I mean, we are more than capable. We have all of the pieces and parts, and I think we obviously will be fine. But yeah, exactly. But we have to go out and so we have to show up. Great. Awesome being on the West Coast in Arizona in the Pacific time zone, so that will really help. Of course, that Coach Derek has seen a couple times, so not completely unknown to us. Although this year we played something like 4 courses that we had never seen before in our spring schedule, and we did just fine. So we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, it'll be a big weekend. We're leaving Friday. Competition rounds are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so hopeful on Wednesday to be making plans to go to San Diego for the national title.
That's right. So the way that it works now, you get the regionals, then you advance to the national championships, and then it goes down at the national championship site to match play, and then it's a bracket. And I got to say, I love that.
Yeah.
About the way the golf championships are.
I love it. It's great for TV. So we do, we do 4 rounds of stroke play, and that final round of stroke play on the Monday is on TV. And then from there, you do an 8-bracket, 8-team match play. 36 holes on Tuesday, 36 holes Tuesday and 18 on Wednesday. Sorry, I had to bring that out of my brain. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you can get into those top 8 in that match play, it is a fun experience because golf, I mean, folks who follow golf know that when the Ryder Cup is around or the WM management, events, like some of those are a little raucous, but in general, golf is a pretty low key, quiet cheering sport, right?
Clap.
The golf clap, exactly, right? Match play is a whole different game.
Deal.
We are loud, we are obnoxious, we are cheering so that you can hear us all the way across to create that momentum within the team about the match play part of it.
One of the greatest coincidences that's ever happened to me is that the Women's Golf Championship was occurring right down the road from where the Pac-12 baseball tournament was occurring.
Yeah, Scottsdale.
Which meant that, we got to make the drive up and got to be there for some of the match play based on the baseball schedule. It was the biggest happy coincidence maybe of my career, and boy, that was fun.
Yes, and that's the best time. Like, if you've never seen college golf before, whether it's the men's or the women's tournament, those match play events that go on throughout the year, and there are a few of them, not just nationals, but those are the super most fun. So, like, if you've got a little kid that you're trying to get interested in golf, put them out there during a match play event and let them see those competitive juices that can get going. It's a lot of fun. And I love golf in all aspects, obviously, but the match play piece for just the average fan is a great component.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a battle from hole to hole, right? It's easy to kind of comprehend,
Absolutely.
Where you're at. And now, to that point, I don't know if I'm going to have you on again before we get there. So just, hey, everyone just remember, the Ducks have knocked on the door of that national championship now a couple times. This program's been there. That's got to be fun for you as the administrator.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in 2002, we finished second, only to Stanford. In 2024, we finished third. And this year we have just as good a team as those teams. I mean, Derek Radley has done things with this program in his time here that have put us in the top 5 perennially, maybe top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a result of the efforts that he puts in, the program that he runs, the culture that he's created, fan support, the Jake that we've mentioned on previous shows, and the fan support and donor support that came for the Jake, and having that practice facility, all of the things that go into that on the private side, as well as the coaches and assistant coaches and players who have given us a chance here at Oregon. I mean, Kiara Romero, number 3 player in the world, not the country, the world. Number 3 amateur player in the world, chose Oregon, and there's a reason for that, and it's going to make her a better golfer in the long run. But it's also helped our program, and we're grateful for that.
So cool. Jody Sykes, we got to get a timeout. When we come back, more to cover. Put it that way. It's also rivalry game day, and we're going to talk with Coach Lombardi, Oregon softball, looking for a Big Ten title of their own this weekend at the Jane. Stick with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with Jody Sykes, Senior Associate Athletic Director, Chief Compliance Officer, / Oregon Women's Golf Sport Administrator and Beach Volleyball Sport Administrator, which gives me a chance to talk to you a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
Couple wins to wrap up the season, and another season coming to a close for beach volleyball as the program continues to grow, huh?
Yeah, our first year in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. So for the fans that don't know, the Big Ten does not sponsor beach volleyball. So Stanford, Cal, USC, UCLA, Grand Canyon, us, and Washington joined together, and we are now the beach volleyball conference within the MPSF. Grateful to the MPSF for their willingness to host us for the first time ever down in Huntington Beach, California this past week. It was they did a really good job. I think it'll only get better, and actually they're adding in, I think, 4 schools for next year into the MPSF: Florida State, Texas, LSU, and I feel like maybe South Carolina. I'm missing one. So
that's
MPSF
quite the
is
league now.
Yeah, MPSF is growing, and it'll be a good sized league, and just a lot of competitive effort. I mean, USC and UCLA have won every beach volleyball national title since its inception. So a very strong conference, even just with the 2 of them. We played hard against Washington and played really well. Got one of our wins in one of the pairs groupings. It just wasn't our tournament to be had. We fought really hard against Washington on that day, though. And now their season's over. They'll go into the off season, figure out some training and some summer stuff, and come back next fall ready to get it.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Dillard even a few weeks ago. Like, okay, so you start to see the growth of a program. You're going to get some of those pairs that get wins.
Yes.
And you started to see that over the course of the season.
Absolutely, and we've started to get more student athletes that are playing in the pairings that they should be in, and not having to throw maybe what should be a 3-pair into that 1-pair slot, or maybe an exhibition pair is having to play in the 4-pair slot. And so as we continue to grow the program, as Coach Dillard has invested into this in the last 3.5-4 years, as we continue to invest in this program and see the growth of it, we've added some scholarships. We're going to add a few more. We're building a locker room for them in Matthew Knight Arena. As soon as we get the land on campus, we have plans, and we're in all the design work is done for the courts on campus right across the street from the Jaqua. So we're progressing with that and making beach its own standalone sport. I mean, it was started here to just be an extension of indoor.
Right.
And if you look at like University of Nebraska, for example, they play a very shortened season because it is in fact an extension of indoor. Their indoor players play beach for maybe 2 months, and then they don't even play in a conference title or in any sort of tournament. So creating that separation, getting that growth going, we're making a lot of progress in that. More to go, lots of more things to do, but making some progress.
But it does take time.
It does.
I'm glad that you brought up like the locker room. That's something you got space at Matthew Knight Arena to rearrange, and then all the designs that are already in place. And I got to tell you, like fans, I'm excited to see when that facility's there. Like that's another athletic facility that's right there, and kind of that. If I dare say, that athletic compound of campus,
Absolutely.
right, with the Jaqua, I mean, that's going to be pretty fun down the stretch.
And it's going to be really nice. It's going to have nice greenery and trees and everything around it, and it'll be used by campus as well. It will not just be an athletics-only facility. Unfortunately, with the dorm structural issues, it's been delayed almost 2 years now. But we've had this land agreed upon with campus, and we just have to get it built once the Hamilton dorm comes down. Right. So hopefully by next summer, if everything goes according to plan with the campus side of things. But yeah, they've always had a locker room in Matthew Knight Arena, but not one that was their own. Right. It was kind of a, you can be in here except for during concerts and kind of thing. And so partially designed for them and not really. So that's construction is well underway in the arena. So they will now have their own dedicated, with lots of thought into the tiles and the colorings and the design. And that's been a fun project for me, to be honest, because I've done some facility stuff, but not a lot. And so I've been in on the ground level of this and the courts. So from an administrator perspective, that's been kind of a new little foray. The new challenge that's been fun.
That's cool. Yeah. I the first time I ever was involved in anything like that was when I was in school, and I had no idea what I was doing in designing a studio.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, now when we built this one, it was like, oh, wait, I kind of understand what to do in here.
And the sound needs and the spacing needs and the air conditioning needs for all the equipment, right? I mean, you learn things as you go along.
You do.
I depend on the experts. There's a lot more people who know a lot more than me. But it's been kind of fun to just be involved in those decisions and those conversations.
Well, and I'm glad that you mentioned, too, like there's been a lot of construction. If you haven't been to campus in 5 years, it looks a little different, right? Like there's been a lot of construction on campus as the U of O's continue to grow and modernize. And so this is just one of those next steps toward that. But I'm excited for the future of that program.
It should be really fun. I'm excited too.
What else is going on in your world?
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about NIL? You want to talk about the house settlement? You want to talk about, I don't know. There's so much. It's just so complicated right now because we're all just kind of waiting. Yeah. We talked about it at the beginning. It's just changing everything. So, we're in week 5 of the spring term. I'm trying to focus on our student athletes, focusing on their last 5 weeks of classes, our sports that are still competing.
Some graduations upcoming.
Yeah, we've got graduations upcoming. We've got some sports that get to practice 8 hours a week for the next month and a half or so. And then they all go home for the summer. So we're also working on summer school for those that need to be here for that, and thinking about what transitional stuff will look like. We originally were thinking, okay, July 1st is when everything is going to kick in. What kind of plans do we need to put in place? Who knows if that's what's going to happen? We're just doing the best that we can and enjoying the moments and appreciate being around the student athletes, especially the seniors, the ones that are moving on. They've given us their time and their energy, and they've helped our programs grow in a lot of ways. And we got coaches and new coaches that we brought in the last few months that we're getting on board, and continuing coaches that are continuing to make strides and do the best that they can with their programs amidst all these changes. So it's fun. It's a great time to be in college athletics. And like I said, you either ride the roller coaster or you get off when it stops have a great day.
Yeah,
so
that's
just what it is.
The roller coaster though might just have a few extra track pieces going in.
100% with a few extra arm bars and seat belts for everybody to hold on to, because it's going to get a little rocky.
Yeah, how's the seat belt? Is yours still tight?
It's still tight. It's starting to squeeze a little bit, but we're gonna throw on some extra, maybe helmet, some extra padding on the elbows and knees just in case it goes off the rails. We'll see, but no, we're all just trying to do the best we can.
That was the best analogy that I could have thought of for that. I can only imagine though. I mean, for someone who is so dialed in on just here's the requirements, and people I know come to you for just so much information clarification. It's nice to have some clarification of information, isn't it?
My latest line has been, as of today.
Yeah, as of today.
As of this moment. Because I just feel like I give you an interpretation and tomorrow it will change, or we talk about a rule and when this happens, this might go away or it might not. I don't really know. So as of today, here's what we're doing, right?
Well, and hey, everybody's around the country.
100%. We're all in the same boat. Yeah, we're all in the same boat.
Waiting for a much larger boat to be directed.
Absolutely. The little tugboat is out in front right now. We need the big one to come along behind and help us all get going.
I hear you. Jody Sykes, our guest. I did want to ask you because a couple fans have asked, so when you see, and this has come up before, but even this is something that's changed. When you see hey, this person said I'm going to Oregon, but then they don't show up on a roster for a while, and so why is that? A couple fans actually asked me, as you can imagine, because you're getting into it's always recruiting season at this point, but anyway, that's part of your job is to make sure all those boxes are checked, right?
Absolutely, yeah. The main reason, the short answer to that question is there are steps that have to occur on the behind-the-scenes side, so admissions-wise, paperwork-wise, student conduct-wise, signed scholarship-wise. There's paperwork behind the scenes that has to be done so that we don't violate NCAA rules. We have to have all of these steps in place so that we don't violate our institutional policies or the NCAA rules. And sometimes that slows us down from making a public announcement, even though the student themselves, the transfer, the incoming kid, whoever it might be, put on social media 2 weeks ago that they were committed to Oregon. And we can retweet that without comment, but we can't post it. We can't initiate those posts until all of that paperwork is in place. Every school has their own policies and procedures for how they do that, so sometimes it's a little bit different by school. What you see for some schools and how they post is a little bit different. But we just have a few steps here, like I said, for our institutional policies and NCAA rules, so that we make sure we're not essentially putting our foot in our mouth when we announce, that someone is coming to us. But that's the discrepancy for the fans, is the students can post whatever they want. Even if they're not in the portal, they can still post on social media. We don't recommend it because that just makes you ripe for violations, because the rules say not supposed to talk to other coaches until you're in the portal, right? The rules say we're not supposed to publicize that a student has committed or is signed with us until the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, right? But that doesn't prevent the student themselves from actually posting on social media or making comments or whatever it might be. So that's kind of sometimes why you see that disparity in the timing.
There you go. See? Checking the boxes.
We try to make sure we're doing it the right way, and sometimes it doesn't go great with this fast-paced instant gratification.
That's right.
Stuff. Yeah.
Senior Associate Athletic Director, Chief Compliance Officer, Women's Golf, Beach Volleyball Sport Liaison, Jody Sykes, our guest. Travel safe.
Thank
with
you.
Oregon Women's Golf.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and I'm sure that we'll chat again soon.
Let me know. I'll be happy to be here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
When we come back, talking about transfers. Segue on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by Duck Insider. In the Country Financial Studio, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Women's basketball has added All Mountain West and Fresno State transferred forward Mia Jacobs to the 25-26 roster. Kelly Graves announced it yesterday. A 6'2" rising senior, originally from Perth, Australia, two-time All Mountain West selection, and led Fresno State with 18.3 points and 10.0 rebounds per game last season. A conference-leading 19 double-doubles in 34 games. That was tied for 7th nationally. Mia Jacobs joining the women's basketball team. That is a big-time addition at the forward position. Will be a senior, has 1 year of eligibility remaining. Averaged a double-double. Averaged a double-double. Joining Oregon women's basketball. Meanwhile, Oregon volleyball has added an opposite to the roster today. Marley Arrington out of Glendora, California, joining the Ducks 2024 WCC All-Freshman team during her season at LMU, joining Trent Kirsten's team as he continues to assemble the roster for the first-year Oregon volleyball head coach. Fall's going to be here before we know it. Welcome Marley Arrington to the flock. Welcome Mia Jacobs to the flock. Coming up, we've got a big-time weekend for Oregon softball. Ducks were victorious in run-rule fashion in South Bend against Notre Dame to wrap up a 4-game trip to the state of Indiana. The Ducks swept Indiana, got a little close for comfort, I'd say, toward the end of the Sunday game, but the Ducks were able to get it done, and then came back and won big time on Monday. We've got a lot to cover before the Ducks go for a outright Big Ten title at the Jane this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Oregon softball will host Michigan State. The alumni game on Friday at 6 o'clock. Hannah Delgado will be back in town to throw out the first pitch, which is pretty exciting. 2 o'clock on Saturday, and then the Ducks will host Senior Day at 1 o'clock on Sunday. The Saturday and Sunday games are now going to be on Big Ten Network, and, of course, the voice of the Duck softball team. Saul Galvan will have the call on KWVA, student radio station here at the University of Oregon. He's directing Duck Insider today. Saul, have a great call. Rest up those vocal cords for a potential Big Ten title call, all right? When we come back, we're covering all of that and more with Oregon softball head coach Missy Lombardi. Season sure has been fun so far, and a chance to have a little more fun this weekend. Talking softball with Coach Lombardi next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon softball back from a successful road trip. Coach Lombardi here with us every Tuesday. Hey, Coach. How was the trip, huh?
Good. It was really good. It was really long.
Long, but successful.
Very successful.
Yeah. Review the weekend for us. What were your takeaways?
Just that I just love how this team just gets after it and just continues to play hard. Like, they show who they are, whether we're on the road, during a midweek, at home. They just continue to show who they are, and I really, really appreciate that.
Now the Ducks will be playing for the outright Big Ten title this weekend at Jane Sanders Stadium. You do control your own destiny. That's where you want to be as a team, right?
Absolutely. We want to control our own destiny and just continue to take it one game at a time. These guys have, every game, they've gone into each game the same way, and just to continue.
1-game lead over UCLA with 3 to play. The Bruins host Northwestern this weekend. The Ducks are at home against Michigan State. They're going to be on Big Ten Network now. Broadcast schedules adjust because when you're going to win a championship, you want it to be on national television. Coach Lombardi joining us. All right, I have multiple things to ask you now. The trip got a little bit longer, too, especially because you had a weather delay. Important question. The most important question I'm ever going to ask you. So I was watching, because I was calling the baseball game during the weather delay. Just keeping track, okay, well, are they going to play again? Oh, there's Ducks back on the field. They're around the third baseline now. And they were juggling. How many Ducks on your team can juggle?
Everybody.
Really?
Yes, and the reason why is because that is a part of their tests when they return.
Oh, that's awesome. I had a feeling that that was an extension of a drill because, okay, a little bit of inside me for a second, like that was a catching drill actually that I did growing up. So you teach everybody how to juggle.
Yes, Coach Rowe, when they come back, they have different tests, whether you're a pitcher, catcher, infield, outfield, offense. So you have different tests that you have to show that you've.
Wow.
Right? And so part of the defense is juggling.
Hand-eye coordination.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's the best juggler on the team?
Gosh, Paige will tell you she is, but then I feel like Katie will jump in and say she is. Like, honestly, they all would tell you that they're pretty good.
I remember, so not long ago, like a couple months ago now, I guess, we were talking about what do you do during a delay, as a staff, as a coach. And now it's like I saw that, Coach, and I thought, that to me was such a great illustration of just the vibes around your team. Big reason why you now have 45 overall wins, which is tied for the most in the country, by the way, right? I mean, that's the vibes of this team.
It is. It's just really good vibes. This group's a fun group. They really love competition. They are just very, like, they're each other's number ones fans. I don't know. They're just a really great group.
Now, we posted this not long ago. But since we have now framed the Freshman Phenoms poster, it's outstanding. It's awesome. Eventually, all four of them are going to sign the poster in the studio. We got the frame, though, Coach, and I got to tell everybody a little bit behind the scenes. Coach walked in during the break today, and she saw it and was like, we got to frame this. And we got it done. We framed it. So, Coach, I mean, what do you make of that? What do you make of that?
I love it. I think that's a good-looking group right there. I just remember when they stepped on campus in summer for summer school, for summer bridge, and just excited and kind of nervous. And then now looking at them, and they're all just, in stride on this journey together, and it's just a special group.
Now, were you in attendance for the photo shoot?
No.
Because this feels like you probably gave some instruction on the 80s vibes.
Okay, I'm a kid of the 80s. I love the 80s. I had big hair, and I will tell you that I still think it looks great.
It does.
But Amy, that is all Amy.
Well done.
Amy does all of the creative.
So
I
good.
just stay out of her way and let her go after it.
So good. It was a great post on Go Ducks. It's now become a great poster. Shout out to Amy, Ian, the entire creative team. This one's going up in the studio. We try to rotate through the posters in the studio. Some stay up longer than others, as you can imagine, right, Coach? This one I think might be up for a while. And, you talk about the freshman class, Coach, and I think it comes up a lot. I mean, Riley McCoy, the national freshman, a top 25 list coming out on Friday, then breaks the Oregon freshman record for home runs with her 15th of the season. Let's maybe start with Riley. I mean, the growth that you've seen from when you started recruiting her till now having a great freshman year for you.
Just a lot. And you know what? She's had to work hard. She's played with elite athletes and has had to wait her turn.
Sure.
She's had to wait her turn, but she's just continued to train and, do what she needs to do to be prepared to get here. And she got here and it's just blossomed. And what I love about Riley is she's so mature. She doesn't get high. She doesn't get low. She's just very steady with what she does. And I think that's what's allowed her just to have the success that she's having this year.
Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Riley McCoy, coming out this week. Drove in 4 runs to help to complete the sweep on Sunday. And, Coach, that game got a little close for you down the stretch, right? And you're going to have games like that. But the mentality of your team to complete the sweep on Sunday before we recap Monday a little bit.
With that, we always talk about we're going in every game and we know we're going to win. We may not know exactly what it's going to look like, but we know we're going to win. Yeah. And to see that last game and see our offense score runs. We needed to score a lot of runs that game. Our defense needed to be very sound. And then our pitching staff needed to work together to put us in a position to win.
And you did it.
Yeah, to see Lee start the game and do great and then pass to Lindsay and then Lindsay go in. And then, that last inning, we've got bases loaded. We are up 9-7.
Right.
And they have a lefty coming up, and to call on Stacy and to come up and get the lefty to pop up. We had one down, get the lefty to pop up, and then to get the righty who hit 2 bombs that game.
Yep.
And was feeling really, really good. She was 3 for 3 on the day to strike out to end it.
That's what I wanted to ask you about because, here we are down the stretch, right? Talking about there's a lot still in front of you, but a chance for a Big Ten title. You control your own destiny. You're getting ready to host regionals at the Jane. Let's go. Big Ten tournament still coming. Like all of that, right? what a momentum-building moment, I'd imagine, for Stacy in the circle. Like, I know you talk about you always need everybody, you need your staff. I felt like that game was really reflective of that.
It was very reflective, and we talk a lot about, like, what is required out of us. And it was required for us to be in that game and that spot and for Stacy to come in and to get the save.
Yeah.
It was required. It was required for us to play Notre Dame the next day.
Right.
And for Taylor to come in and throw 4 innings for us and get the job done.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that we've really embraced is just understanding our journey this year and whether we've had success or maybe not success. There are a lot of things that are required to prepare us for what is next.
You read my mind because that's exactly what I was just going to say with Taylor pitching on Monday against Notre Dame. It's like you've done this before. Coach Lombardi joining us, Oregon softball head coach. Okay, so we talk all about the big and everything, and yeah, it is a big weekend, right? I mean, you got to embrace that heading into this, don't you?
Yeah, again, it's a weekend for us to celebrate our hard work and to celebrate, this group. We're not going to do anything different that we've done all year. We're going to prepare and stay with our process the same way going into this weekend versus any other weekend, but just to continue to celebrate. That's what I appreciate is that these guys are enjoying the journey versus being stressed by it. There's no reason to be stressed.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You talk about, like, I remember Coach Blotti always used to say this at football, right? Like, you want to play within 1 inch of out of control, because that's kind of where you live in these great moments. It feels like your team has kind of embodied that. Like, they just stay right there on the edge where you want them to.
They do. And they've had to work all year. We didn't know how to do that at the beginning. And through our journey, we have learned a lot of lessons that have helped us along the way.
Yeah. Talking softball with Coach Lombardi. Okay. Alumni game on Friday at 6 o'clock. Hannah Delgado is going to be there to throw out the first pitch. Okay. That's awesome for so many reasons. But I think back now, like, that was just a year ago that we were having a conversation about Hannah, a scary situation, and just to now have that come full circle. What's it going to be like to have her back on Friday night at the Jane?
I'm so excited to get her back. We get a lot of questions about Hannah, everybody asking how she's doing, and just you're going to see her, and go, wow, it doesn't seem like this is the same person from what we witnessed a year ago, which was probably the most scariest thing I've ever, have been a part of. And to see her have a full bill of health, and she's traveling, and she's doing great, and she's living life. We're just, again, so thankful that we were at Arizona and that their hospital and their medical people, I can't even tell you the express what they did for us and Hannah. So, yes, we get to celebrate Hannah and our alumni as well. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome. That one's on Big Plus. And then on Saturday, it's been moved from 4 to 2 p.m. for a Big Ten Network broadcast. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Senior Day, also on Big Ten Network. And a lot of seniors that you get to celebrate post-game. I know that's always kind of a bittersweet day. And you're planning ahead for some hosting, some postseason at the Jane, but it is a chance to celebrate your senior class.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to celebrating this class. The leadership that they have provided for our team this year, the things that they do. You get to see everything they do on the field, but you don't necessarily get to see all the things that they do off the field for this group and for our program. And so I'm really hoping that our fans will stick around. I like to do it after the game because it gives us opportunity to just celebrate them and not have to rush through it. I don't want to rush through it. And so I'm hoping everybody will stick around. Please stick around and join us in celebrating.
I got to tell you, as a broadcaster, big fan of what you just said because you never know how things go pregame. There's so much emotion, and then you have that moment of celebration afterwards, and might be celebrating a Big Ten title as well, which would be the greatest thing that you could ever do on a senior day. Yeah. So, but how about that? I mean, that's special. We talked about you control your own destiny. You've put together a great resume, and it's another opportunity to do some more down the stretch.
Definitely.
Coach Lombardi, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Now, I have a request.
Okay.
Next year, we've got the freshman phenom poster. I'm going to need the coaching staff to recreate it.
Yes, 80s style.
80s style.
Like big hair, perm.
I am all in, Coach.
Big bangs.
Coach.
I will do it.
The next preseason poster will be reminiscent of freshman phenoms, and it might just feature the coaching staff. I'm very excited about this. Coach Lombardi, best of luck this weekend, 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 1 o'clock for Oregon softball at the Jane. GoDucks.com/tickets. I understand there's about 500 tickets left for each game. Chance to come out and see something pretty special at the Jane this weekend. Coach, thank you again for the time.
Thank you.
Quick timeout. When we return, it is Oregon baseball game day. Getting ready for a rivalry game. Ducks have already won 3, trying to make it 4 tonight on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Oregon baseball on the road at Oregon State tonight. Ducks swept them at PK Park. Now a chance to sweep the season series at Oregon State this evening. 5:30, the first pitch. We will have a 5:15 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. It's also on Coin in the Portland area, as all the Beaver games have been. And then Pac-12 Insider is going to have the TV broadcast tonight. I have a feeling that it's going to be a rowdy environment up at Oregon State. And a guy who was a big reason why Oregon was able to sweep the Beavs at PK Park, and the Ducks are up to number 6 in a couple of the national polls this week. One of those polls has this as number 6 versus number 7 in the country. Big opportunity for the Ducks. Jacob Walsh took advantage of that opportunity at PK Park. Big reason why the Ducks are where they are. Jacob Walsh.
What's your sense for what a weekend like this can mean for your program, but for your fans as well, just everybody? What's the significance of this game?
I think it's huge. I think it shows us shows everyone how good we really are. And yeah, it's a good weekend to start building off of going into the end of the season.
What does experience tell you in terms of the challenge of sustaining this? Maybe, not the same energy, not the same opponent, not the same environment week over week over week. What's going to be the challenge for you guys of continuing to try to play at this level?
Just knowing that we come and play the same game every day, and we face the same challenges every day, and we got to keep our play on the field and get rid of external factors.
Do you think your home run balls come down yet?
I got that one pretty good. Yeah, that was a nice one.
Waz talks a lot about you guys finding ways to win in different ways. Today you guys found a way to win in a game where you struck out 17 times. What does that do for an offense? How can you build on knowing that you can win games like that?
I don't think anyone in the dugout had a doubt that we were going to win that game. And even when it wasn't going well, like the starter threw a really good game today and made a couple mistakes and paid for them. but we know, like, with the defense we play and the pitching staff that we have, that's not a problem. You know, it's the morale all day was good, which was important.
You made a play there, and then Cole ran over and gave you a chest bump. What kind of energy does he pitch with out there?
Oh, it's awesome. He's a huge competitor. Every time he gets on that bump, he's trying to, you know, go out and blow by someone or throw that nasty slider. So it's pretty fun to play behind.
What's the sense for the job guys like him and the rest of the guys in the pen have done the last few weeks to kind of manage some inconsistencies and put things together for a weekend like this?
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's in there. We have a nasty staff, and when they just know that their stuff is good and they execute their pitches, it's really good, as it showed this weekend. And it's just this series has kind of shown them that, you know, like, they can do it, and I think it's going to be a great one to build off of.
Garrotti and Maloney had it locked down, especially today, but all weekend. What's it like being on the receiving end of their nice plays?
Yeah, it's awesome. I kind of just run to the base, and it hits me in the chest pretty much every time, and it's pretty easy to play first base for those guys. They're great.
Do you think the importance of this rivalry against Oregon State had any influence on your game today?
It's baseball. You know, we show up, we play the same game, go through our routines. Kind of, you know, there's more energy in the stadium, obviously, and it's you know, we always want to go out and put a good game against those guys and beat them. So, yeah, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's the same 9-inning baseball game.
Same 9-inning baseball game tonight as well when Oregon takes on Oregon State. This time, though, on the road, and certainly a raucous environment that we do figure is going to be a big test. Now, you talk about what this means. It's a rivalry. It's a midweek baseball game. It's one game in an entire season. But if you start looking at some of the postseason projections and you start thinking about what a win against the number 7 team on the road could mean. Oh, this game's going to be so much fun. It means so much whenever these two programs get together. And look, the Ducks have gotten off to a good start. And truthfully, Oregon has demonstrated they can beat anyone in the country. The Ducks have also lost a few games that they'd like back. So I think in this environment, though, going on the road, it is a tremendous opportunity to build a resume. It's a tremendous opportunity for the Ducks to, I think, maybe realize some of their potential for consistency. The Ducks put 3 good games together in a row against Oregon State after losing to Portland on Tuesday a week ago. They won 2 of 3 from UCLA. But only a couple times have the Ducks felt like they've been consistent in 3 straight games. Now, time to make it 4 straight games. Ducks and Beavs tonight, 5:15 pregame show from Corvallis. We'll talk to you for the rivalry. Oh, it's going to be fun on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney,
Yeah, no problem.
I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access